This is the second part of a two-part series I'm doing with eufy, the security guys, to unbox, install and review the eufyCam S3 Pro camera kit. Yes, it's security camera time again, and out of all the cameras I've got around my property, including the eufy solo cam that you would have seen me install a few weeks ago, which I must say is working like a dream, and the one area that I haven't got any coverage of at all is this, my workshop, which is housing more and more equipment, including camera equipment, as the months go on. So I think it's time that I put a couple of cameras up around here just to make sure that this is secure. So eufy have sent me two cameras today, and they basically said install what you want, and the two cameras are these, and this one is an S3 which is essentially two solar powered cameras and a home base, which is a hard drive that you have in your house. So I've also got the S3 Pro.2 camera kit, which is essentially an updated version of the S3. It's got the same two cameras that are solar powered and a home base in your house, but these cameras have got extra features and a more efficient solar panel, so you need less sun to keep them powered. Now, the one thing I like about both of these sets is not only that they're both in 4K, but you don't need a subscription to keep them running. There are a lot of security cameras out there that you need to pay a subscription to a company every month to keep them going. Everything gets downloaded onto the hard drive that you can extract whenever you want, and you own the whole system. So let's have a look at some of the features of the S3 Pro. These new cameras have 4K MaxColour Vision technology with a bigger solar panel and battery capacity. They detect motion using both radar and PIR and can recognise individuals, which you'll see later. And this system is fully compatible with Apple Home, Alexa and Google Assistant. So as I've got a choice of which one to install today, I'm obviously going to go for the one that's recently come out onto the market. However, the two cameras in this one still work with the home base and all that. So at some point they will be coming out and making a visit around the house. So the first thing we need to do is to get this out and get it wired in. So let's have a quick look at what's in the box. How do we open this? Here we go. Oh, and immediately you see the two cameras there and the solar panels. Obviously the main lens plus a couple of lights, looks like either side, and a couple of holes which I assume is like a microphone or a speaker. And underneath there's a little port here that has USB-C. And although these are solar powered, you can actually power them through the USB-C, either with another small solar panel, which I think is further down in this box hopefully, or just a standard USB-C charger. So those are the two cameras. What else have we got in here? Right, okay, this is the home base, which is like the hard drive hub that you have in your home. At the back it's got a couple of USB sockets and a power socket, and then a standard cable that will link into your router, or is it router? What else have we got in here? Let's have a look. Ah, these are the fixing brackets. And I'm moving forward a little bit here, but I think we've got three, because we've got one for each of the cameras, and then somewhere in this box as well should be another solar panel. So I assume the third one is for the solar panel that we can put and sort of basically stick in whatever direction we want. This is the solar panel, I would guess. Oh, there we go. So if you've got one of these in a position that isn't pointing south towards the sun, like I have actually, I think I'm going to end up using this. So you can put this in one position and put this somewhere else pointing at the sun, connect them with the cable, and this powers this essentially. So what's the last thing we've got in here? Quick guides and information. The first thing I need to do is plug in the home base, zap the QR code, and we'll go from there. Before I did any of that, I actually fitted the extra hard drive storage into the home base just by taking out this slot and fixing in the 1 terabyte drive. I then plug everything in and wire it up to my router. So I've got the home base plugged in and ready to go. Everything is behind this chair, but it's just a mass of wires, so you don't really need to see that. First thing I need to do is to scan the QR code that's on the back here. With the code recognised by the app, it's easy to add the home base to your system by following the questions on the screen. I already have the app installed as I have the solar cam already working for me. Obviously, if this is your first eufy device, you'll need to download the app first. Anyway, it doesn't take more than a couple of minutes to get it working, and then it goes into something that I've not seen before, which they call face management. So it's now asking me to add a picture of myself so the self-learning AI algorithm can differentiate between familiar faces and a stranger's face. That's clever, isn't it? You can upload a photo or just take one on your phone. Picture of me. And with the photo uploaded, you can name it and the system will recognise you from then on. So now it's just getting a software update before we go any further. The next thing to do is to pair each camera with the home base. Right, update successful. So to add one of these cameras, it's got to be less than 1 meter away from the home base.
Press the sync button until you hear the beep.
Oop. Okay, discovering camera. It knows I'm here. I have been detected. And that's done. I name the camera and check the settings. With the camera installed, you can then use the app to essentially control everything. You can see how it's charging, adjust what sets off the motion detection and where. You can change all the video and audio settings and 101 other things, including adding privacy zones. With one camera connected and working, it doesn't take me 2 minutes to do the same with the second camera. So that's all working, and that is it. I mean, just press a few buttons and done. So it's time to fix them on the workshop. So this first one that I've called Garage, I'm gonna fix on my garage, just up in the corner here behind this drain pipe. And these brackets can work in multiple different ways. So they can work, so you fix the camera to a wall a bit like that, or if you adjust it right, you can fix it so, like to a soffit, so it hangs like that. There's a little bit of movement there. So I think I'm actually going to fix into this wall. It's not particularly heavy, so I think I'm going to go for the mortar course. There's always an argument whether you should fix into the mortar course or the brickwork. I was taught the mortar course because it's easier to repair. And for this type of lightweight attachment, it works fine for me, and I don't think it makes much difference. But if you want to go into the brickwork, then go for it. One part of the bracket screws into the other, and the tighter you do it up, the stronger the ball joint holds. So with the camera installed, I can try it out and see. And that is the picture I'm getting at the moment. Maybe a bit too much of this wall. Oh look, you'll see my inspection chamber over there. I finished not that long ago. So if I pull it out a little bit, maybe down a touch. With any security camera, it's important to take a little bit of time once it's in place to angle it in the right direction for the best view and to make sure it's vertical. Immediately I can see that the 4K recording is really sharp and clear. So this camera keeps spotting me every time I walk past it. I just want to see how accurate and how quickly it alerts it. You'll see if you look at the screen of my phone, you just see the top of my head there. Let's just see how quick it alerts that it's actually me. Late afternoon sun. Someone has been spotted. Okay, so that was pretty quick. Let's do that again. But it will see my face straight away. Does it say Stuart has been spotted? Shall we try? Stuart has been detected. From your phone, you can zoom into any part of the screen and, being 4K, still get quite a clean picture from some distance away. and hear what people are saying and talk back to them as well. With the camera being under the soffit of the garage and with no chance of getting any sunlight, I fixed a separate solar panel around the corner facing south and connect it with the cable, which will make sure that it gets plenty of charge. So there you go, that one is 100% fixed. It's like a 5-minute job, and if I ever want to change it in the future, it's only going to take me 5 minutes to relocate from there to somewhere else anyway, because it's just talking to the box wirelessly, so it's going to work all the way around here. You'll notice if you look at my screen that the second one is actually on my bench in my workshop. Now I'm going to be fixing that somewhere a little bit more secret. I don't really want the whole of YouTube world to know exactly where every camera is around my property, but it's still sitting there and it's working just like this one is. But I'm keen now to leave it an hour or two and see what this looks like in the dark. So it really is quite late now. I was intending to come out a lot earlier, but in the twilight I kept checking the camera and it still looked like daylight. And I now realise why that is. Although this whole area is absolutely in the dark, you can hardly see the car here and there's no street lights. The camera is on the MaxColour Vision setting, which means even in total darkness, everything looks like daylight. The next pictures you'll see are all in the dark. Have a look at this. What you see on the screen here, in real life, is pitch black. I'm wearing black in the middle of the drive, in the dark. No one can see me, but when I look at the screen, it looks like it's about 5 o'clock in the evening. I mean, there's no lights on me at all. How do they do that? I can tell you, it is absolutely pitch black. It's quite incredible. There's also another setting called Spotlight, and that's when these lights come on and actually light up the whole area. So definitely, if you're an intruder, you definitely know about it, because I can see the two spotlights are really sort of glaring at me and suddenly the whole area is lit up. And you can also change it to the classic infrared shot as well. And on the camera there's just two very small red lights that gives you that impression that someone is watching you. So I must say that is pretty impressive to turn nighttime into daytime. And it's not just low light out here, it's absolutely pitch black. So that's the MaxColour Vision doing its job. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've learned a little bit about the eufyCam S3 Pro. I will see you next time.